Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Tax Playbook, where my number one goal is to help you win in your taxes by giving you simple how-to strategies to win and give you the confidence. My name is Trenda Hackett, CPA. I'm with the Web CPA Virtual Tax Clinic, and today I am going to break down 10 top tax moves that you need to make before filing your tax return this year. If you follow what I tell you in this video, you will reduce some stress off of you, and you'll save some money. And guess what? You will avoid those dreaded IRS letters. But before we get started, I want you to like, share this video, and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and turn on your notifications so you get notified when we're uploading more content. So let's get into our topic on today. So here again, I am breaking down the 10 top tax moves that you need to take or make before filing your tax return this year. Move number one, set up your IRS online account. How do you do that? You go and visit the IRS website at www.irs.gov. When you go to the home page, you will have the option either to create your online account or sign into your online account if you have already created one. If you already have an IRS account, sign into that account, because there's some great information there that will help you in gathering your information to have your tax return filed. I will include the link in the description to this video to help you to set up your online IRS account. Number two, get an IP PIN for identity protection. It's your identity protection PIN. If you think your Social Security number or your tax ID number or the tax ID number of your dependents have been compromised, I would recommend you get an IP PIN. It's just an extra layer of protection to prevent somebody from filing a return in your name and your number before you do. So you may ask, how do I get an IP PIN? If you already have an IRS online account, you can log into your IRS online account, select get an IP PIN. You can get it from there. Or if you don't have an account, you can simply go to the IRS website and get an IP PIN. Or if you have lost your PIN, you can retrieve it there. Or if you didn't get the letter from the IRS, if you've been in the IP PIN program, you can retrieve your PIN from the IRS website. Again, I will include a link in the description to this video for you to get an IP PIN. Number three, you want to gather all of your income documents. I'm focusing on income. Why? Underreported income, missing income on a tax return is the number one reason that a lot of taxpayers get letters from the IRS. I read a statistic that each year the IRS sends about 2 to 4 million underreported income notices, called that notice CP 2000, to taxpayers indicating that there's unreported income on the tax return. So how will you avoid that? You want to gather all of your tax documents, third-party filings like your 1099s, your W-2s, your 1099 and your W-2 NEC was due to be filed by January 31st. All your other 1099 documents like your 1099K or the 1099 miscellaneous, the 1099 interest, the 1099 dividends, or your 1099 for retirement. A lot of those documents are not due until February 28th, and some are due March 31st. So you want to wait until those documents are filed, because if you file beforehand, you're going to have missing income on your tax return, and later on next year, you'll be getting a letter from the IRS saying you left this off of your tax return. So you want to make sure you have all of those documents beforehand. And guess what? You can log into your IRS online account, particularly those documents that were due January 31st and January 31st. They should already be there. But the IRS typically uploads those to your online tax account kind of as soon as they get in. So you want to definitely check your online IRS account to gather all of your income documents before filing. Step number 4, move number 4, verify your withholding and your estimated tax payments. Your withholding on your W-2, in box 2, your federal withholding, that number is significant because that is the number that you put on your tax return that will reduce the amount of tax that you have to pay in with your tax return, because the withholding on your W-2, essentially that is what you have already paid up to the IRS through your employer, just in case you may owe taxes. So you want to make sure that that number in box 2 on your W-2 matches your last pay stub. So get your last pay stub, your last year-to-date pay stub, and find the withholding on that pay stub and match it to that box 2 on your W-2. If the two numbers don't match, reach out to your employer and get them reconciled before you file. Perhaps you may have sent up some estimated tax payments if you have a business. Some of us have businesses while we work. Regular jobs. I know I was on, got a W-2 and I had a business for years, but now I'm full-time self-employed. So some of you may be in that situation. Check in your IRS online account. If you have made estimated tax payments, verify that the IRS records match your records before you file the tax return. Here again, any payments that you have made up front, they are going to be applied to your tax return, either to reduce your taxes, and you may reduce your taxes and get a refund back, or just apply to reduce your taxes down lower so that you don't owe as much, or reduce your taxes to 0. So you want to verify your withholding and your estimated taxes. Move number 5, obtain your Form 1095A if you receive health insurance through the health care marketplace. The only thing I'm going to say about this, you will not be able to e-file your tax return if you have not put the information from the 1095A on your tax return. You may ask, how do I get that? By now you should have those statements, but just in case you don't, you can log into your healthcare marketplace account by visiting www.healthcare.gov, and you go in there and look for your Form 1095A statement, or you can call them and they can walk you through getting that information. And you can also check your online IRS account to pull down that statement, because here again, you will not be able to have your tax return electronically filed and accepted by the IRS without it. Move number 6, pull together your documents and your statements for your credits and deduction. Credits reduces your taxes dollar for dollar. A deduction reduces the amount of income you pay tax on, which in turn reduces your taxes as well. Some of the deductions and credits that are available this year are the up to a $10,000 deduction on your car from your car loan interest. If you look in a previous video, I talked to you about that. So you want to gather your interest statements from whomever financed your vehicle. You also want to get your bill of sale where you purchase your vehicle, because you'll need your VIN number. If you are in an occupation that primarily receives tips, there's no tax on tips for 2025 up to $25,000. And so you want to gather those records. No tax on overtime. Pull that last pay stub, because your employer may not have carved out the amount of overtime that is included in your box 1 on your W-2. You can get a deduction to pull that amount out, and that's a lesser amount that you're having to pay taxes on. And I will be releasing a video in more detail on no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. Education records, be sure to reach out to the your colleges, your school institutions. to get that information. So just begin to pull all of your statements and documents, and don't worry about can you deduct this. Just pull it together and let your tax professional handle or decide whether or not that's deductible. Move number 7, you want to update if you're self-employed, update your business records, update your income, update your expenses, update your mileage log, update your home office deductions, and all of that. Get all of that information in order before you file your tax return. All right, move number 8, max out your retirement contributions. You can still make a contribution to a Roth IRA or traditional IRA. If you're self-employed, you can make a contribution to your SEP IRA up until April the 15th, 2006. And guess what? Even if you make it in 2006, by that time, you can choose whether or not you want to deduct that on your 2025 return, or you can simply say, let this apply to my 2026. So you want to begin pulling that information together and start seeing where, if you're going to make that additional contribution, max out those contributions to those retirement plans so that you can get a greater deduction to keep some of these dollars in your pocket. Move number 9, you want to make sure that you get a copy of your last filed tax return. When you go to do your tax professional, have your tax return file, there's information from that last year tax return that is needed in order to electronically file that tax return. So be sure to have that. If you can't put your hand on the actual copy, you can log into your IRS online account and look for a tax return transcript, and you can pull that and have that with your tax records and get that over to your tax professional. And move number 10, check to see if you have any treasury offsets. And this is for those of you that may be expected a refund. Sometimes I have a lot of clients that they're surprised that when they don't get the amount of refund that I have told them on the tax return, and they either don't get the refund or they get a small amount, only to find out that the IRS took their refund and sent it over to another government agency, or the IRS could apply that refund to some taxes for another year that the person might not have known that they had owed. So it's very important that you check your treasury offsets before you file your tax return, because once you file it, you can't go back and get that refund back. So you may be wondering, how do I check that? So I'm going to give you a phone number. You can look at this phone number that is on the screen. I'm going to give you this number, and that number is thought I had it. That number is 1-800-304-3107. Again, the Treasury offset number is 1-800-304-3107. So that's all I have for you today. Here again, like this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel, and turn on your notifications so you can get notified when we're adding more content to this channel. So go out and have an amazing day. And until next time, don't let those taxes be out here taxing you. Have a great day.